Hey everybody, this is Tim of Collector's Maze. We're doing the interview series again today, and today we are talking to Haley Leary. Haley is an actor that has been in several films, shorts, TV shows, you name it. She's in movies like Playtimes Over, Bad Candy, and a lot more. Haley, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So I was wondering if you could just give us a little bit of a backstory of how you got to where you are today.
Oh, wow. So I dropped out of nursing school when I was like 20, you know. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do and stuff like that. So I knew I wanted to get out of the town I went to high school in, so I just kind of went 30 minutes south and moved into the city of Atlanta. And I've been here for just inside the city for about 7 years now. And it was weird. It just started with a conversation with my mom, and it's going to sound cheesy, but it's literally how it happened. And I told her that I kind of just didn't know what I wanted to do, and I wasn't going to like stop trying things until I cried happy tears because I had never done that before. I'd never been like super happy. And so I remember doing a SCAD thesis video for a student there who was a senior in fashion design. And I got approached off of Model Mayhem. And it was one of those where I was like, okay, well, if it's for a school, this isn't like too sketchy or whatever. So, and it was at the school, and it was a really cool experience. I went to my brother's graduation that afternoon and then was helping a friend out by being in their music video later that night. And at the end of the night, it was like 4 a.m. and I figured I would have been like just dog tired, and I wasn't. I was just like super stoked. I was like, man, this is like the happiest I've ever been. And I called my mom and I was like crying because I was happy. And so from there, I just started doing random stuff like hair modeling and like random shoots with people to kind of get like not scared of being in front of the camera and stuff like that. And then I basically lied during a hair modeling shoot that I had acted before. And so they asked me to be lead in their 48-hour film that we do here in Atlanta. And just kind of since then.
Well, it sounds like you kind of just walked into it, really.
Yeah, just kind of stumbled into it. I did little bits of, theater in middle school, but that was just because my friends were doing it and my twin sister was doing it, so it was just kind of like something to fill the time.
So could you maybe tell us a couple of the films you've been in or TV series or whatever, and tell us some of the roles you've done?
Yeah, sure. So, as far as films go, obviously, I've done like random shorts here and there. Playtimes Over is the first one where I wanted to work with Tony so bad that I kind of created this story so that I could pitch it to him to work with him just because he's awesome. Um, and as far as like films, I've done nonprofits like Authentics, and it's for a nonprofit called Smart Recovery, helping like every form of addiction using like cognitive science and stuff like that. I've done the show Nashville, so that was fun. That was the first thing I booked with my agency, which was cool. Murder reenactments here and there. Bad Candy, which is written by my really good friend Desiree, and her fiance Scott shot it and everything. And that was like that. I'm so stoked. The trailer's gonna drop soon, and I'm like really excited for that to come out. I'm actually gonna go tonight and do some ADR for it, and yeah, just like random stuff here and there. Good Eats on Food Network, you
Right
know.
on. Yeah.
Love me some Alton Brown. But yeah, and it was cool talking to him, and I'm actually gonna shoot with him again this month. But I cook as a hobby, so I was just like, you mean I get to like kick it with him? I'm so down.
Wow, that's awesome. And really, that's all happening right there in the Atlanta area, isn't it?
Yeah. There's been a few things that I've left for as far as Negative Exposure is a film that I'm in that's actually dropping tomorrow online. So that'll be cool. I mean, we shot that in
Awesome.
Columbus, South Carolina. and it's a really cool juxtaposition on racism and stuff like that. So I mean, hopefully it'll be interpreted well. I haven't seen the edit, so fingers crossed.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's good to hear that you're working right now. I know so many people are not really doing too terribly much because of everything that's going on. Could you talk about maybe how it is acting during COVID? This is the only COVID question I get to ask ever. So.
Oh yeah, no worries. So it was dead for like a solid 2.5, 3 months, like just fully, just depressingly dead. And a lot of people were getting stir crazy and stuff like that. Me and Tony are shooting another short that we put off, and we're not even doing it till like the end of this month, and it's going to be like very skeleton crew and stuff like that. It seemed as though, as far as like from an acting standpoint, commercials started picking up sooner than film type stuff. I do have like 2 film projects and a web series and a TV show shooting this month, but that's weird, you know what I mean? Like, and I shot a commercial last week for a tech company, but it seems as though like it's coming back slowly but surely. I'm just getting lucky with random bookings because, you know, it's 99% no's as an actor, so it's kind of a bizarre month for me.
Right. Well, and you mentioned you work with Tony. That's Tony Reames, right?
Yeah.
Yep. We at Collector's Maze, we've interviewed him before. He's an awesome guy.
Yeah.
I think he gave us a solid hour of just stories, basically.
Oh, dude, his stories are incredible. Some of the stuff he says, you're just like, wait, hold on. Like, can we just address like who you were hanging out with in this story? You know what I mean? We shot a Redman video together a while back, and I was just like, I have a picture just on Redman's back, just giving me a piggyback ride, and I was like, this is insane. I'm getting this framed. Like,
that's awesome. So can you talk about? Yeah, can you talk about how it is to work with him?
Oh man, I mean, I could go on forever, but he's such a collaborator in every sense of the word, you know what I mean? Like, he's open to ideas. He's such a good person that whatever like he wants to happen will happen just because people enjoy being around him. You know what I mean? It's that law of attraction. And he makes shorts with his kids every year, which is what Playtimes Over was. I got to work with his daughter, Evan. And he's just, I don't know, one of those people that's not only just like a family guy, and like him and his wife, Glenna, have raised like 3 awesome kids that are all going to be like so different, but just as equally amazing. But as far as like filmmaking goes, his ideas can range from just like really kind of mellow but intuitive to just like what the fuck out there, you know what I mean? So like it's one of those things that you're just like, wow, like if you have a chance to work with him, do it, because even if it's something low budget, even if like high budget, whatever, you're gonna walk away being like, that was an enjoyable experience, like no matter what.
Right. And you know, people know me from a couple of the interviews I've done here, and I'm a video producer. Even though I'm here in the Midwest, there are still some times when you walk onto a set and you're pushed around, or you even feel like, well, now it's done.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really get that feeling from that at all?
No. If anything, you know, Playtimes Over has been on the festival circuit for like 2 years now, which is crazy. It won at Cinema Fantastique this weekend online. But it's one of those things that once you wrap, you're just kind of bummed. You're like, well, guess I'll see you on the next one. And you find a way to make something else happen, or to get him involved in your project in some way or another, you know?
Right. And, you know, that whole industry is all about connections anyways.
Yeah. Oh, so. Without a doubt. And that was one thing I had to learn. I'm pretty introverted, but I learned the hard way that this industry is a lot about like connections and networking, and so you have to talk to people and stuff like that. And I've been practicing interviews with my roommate, but who knows, we'll see how it's paying off.
You're doing great so far. No problems here, right?
Trying.
Well, And I kind of wanted to get into the headspace of how you do your acting and everything like that. Um, can you tell me how it is to get into a character or what you kind of do to prepare for a role?
I guess it's dependent on the character, obviously, but normally for commercials, I don't like. There's not really emotion to it. You're just kind of like, okay, I'm just a cog in your machine. That's fine. Um, you just have to know how to smile at the right angle. You know what I mean?
Right.
But as far as when it comes to the TV film side of things, um, it depends on kind of how deep I want to get with the character, how invested I am. So for Authentics, I played a recovering alcoholic and who was struggling with other addictions and stuff like that, who was a photographer. And it was written by Daniel Stein and produced by Rachel Hendricks. He directed it also. And my scene partner was Lyndon Ashby, who played Johnny Cage in the '95 Mortal Kombat. So that was kind of
Perfect. Yeah.
kind of awesome. I was like, I get to act with him. All right, well, let's see if he can put up with me, because I'm only in January. It'll be like 5 years acting for me. So relatively green comparatively to a lot of people that I've worked with and stuff like that. But it was one of those where, so my twin sister is a recovering alcoholic, and I got to not only kind of face some of those demons that I had kind of been struggling with as someone who'd witnessed that like so firsthand, or not, well, I guess second. But yeah, it was one of those where, I mean, and my mom is a recovering addict, but it's one of those things that you have to really kind of sit with a lot of the stuff that you've not been wanting to face. And for me, I'll just kind of be like, okay, what are all my problems? And then just kind of let it all come out. I'll pick some poor person that I've connected with on set. I mean, like, just, okay, I'm about to be really honest with you right now, and just kind of start confessing some, like, sad stuff that I've been like kind of holding in and stuff like that. But when it comes to like characters, like I played in a short I did called Girls Against Humanity. It was like a post-apocalyptic thing. You just kind of I stay up all night because everyone's always exhausted, and just kind of take yourself out of it. And if I had nothing, what would I feel like? What would I be like? And finding little things to appreciate, within that character. Everyone's a challenge, every single one, because I'm having to take something personal to it.
Sure. And I mean, it's an art form, so every art is kind of similar. You put yourself into the passion of it.
Right. I mean, I do the same with abstract paint and stuff like that. So it's, and I have like 40 pieces of art that I haven't posted to sell, because that to me is more vulnerable than me like taking on someone else's character, because I'm just at least doing that, like, that person justice by, like, manipulating their words into screen time. But it's actually me creating stuff that makes it harder to showcase it in a certain sense.
Right. So you're surrounded by paintings and art and all that. Are most of those yours?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah, you're talented in both acting and it looks like in painting and everything else.
Yeah, it's a good escape when acting is like slowing down, or I'm trying to kind of not think about some stuff, or think about some stuff. It works both ways.
Yeah. Well, to get more into kind of acting, have you ever thought of a dream role that you might want, or some type of character you might want to play at some point?
So it's funny that you asked that, because I was asked that last week by Daniel, who wrote Authentics. And I was like, wow, I've never really kind of been asked that before. I guess I've never really thought about it. So I did. And I've always been drawn to really intense underdog situations. I don't know. I think it's obviously like childhood, teenage stuff, but I always want to give like the little people voices and um, make someone who might be the sad character I'm playing feel seen or like a little bit less sad, or that maybe they could do what I'm doing, even in the essence of like, you know, that character succeeding at photography and authentics and stuff like that. I got in this to make people happy and spread like just good stuff as cheesy as it is, but like, yeah, if I can do you know, like whether it be homeless characters, lonely characters, stuff like that, giving those people a voice I think is important, you know.
Right. So you're in Atlanta.
Hmm.
And people in my side of the industry, the video industry, know Atlanta is now one of the biggest places. It's just like LA or it's just like New York. Is
Yeah.
there a company out there that you would want to work for?
Is there a what?
Is there a studio or a company out there that you might want to
Oh.
work for?
Um, well, I really want to get on. I really want to get on something that's on at Pinewood. That would be cool. I've had a few friends do that. Or Tyler Perry's here, which is I've heard working for him's cool. Um, I'm with an agency, People Store. I've been with them for a little over 4 years now. Um, and they've been great. They have kind of been like a little family as far as just making sure that they know like we have your goals in mind and stuff like that. So everyone there's been super supportive. But yeah, I'd like to get into the sound stages of a Pinewood. That'd be kind of dope.
Well, I mean, who knows? COVID's happening. People are leaving. People are coming in. You might get your chance.
Right, right. I mean, at this point, I'm willing to get a passport because my introvertness tips into me not leaving the country ever. So get a passport and maybe work abroad this coming year and next, you know, probably next, how things are going.
Sure. So that kind of transitions into something I wanted to ask.
Hmm.
A lot of people might be interested in some advice you can get them. I know you're fresh into this. You said you've only been really doing this for 5 years, so you might have some of the best advice we could get.
Yeah, so I mean, I would say make sure that you surround yourself with people that are going to be an actual support system because this industry is super hard and you're going to hear a ton of no's before you're going to hear yeses. And start with like as far as like building reels, you know, per se, because those are really important. I would say a lot of times your best bet to ensure that you get your footage is by doing senior projects for like film schools and stuff like that because they have to finish it for in order to get a grade. You know what I mean? So find stuff that's actually going to get completed and start local. Don't try. I've seen friends that like get into it in a few years and they're like, I'm going to LA, and I'm like, you'll be back in 6 months because you know it's they don't realize like Atlanta's tough, but LA is like even bigger, and same with New York and even Chicago in a sense, you know. But yeah, I would say those are a few good things, especially when it comes to agency representation. It's kind of like, you know, finding a good therapist. You want to find a good fit, someone that understands you, your goals, what you're going for. Don't change your hair color a bunch like I did at the beginning. That makes it hard for them to kind of place you certain places. I've started getting more when I started like leaving my hair alone. So now it's like the natural curl and color and just kind of leaving it alone. Stop fighting against like your uniqueness because that's what's gonna set you apart from people. Like, you know, this whole plastic surgery era of, you know, looking like a Kardashian is bogus because it's a fad, it's gonna run out, and you know, you're just gonna be in debt and have a lot of just plastic going into the earth. So just kind of, and have hobbies for sure, have hobbies.
And the hobbies are all around you right there. I mean, we've already
Yeah, I
talked.
cook,
Yeah.
I paint, a lot of people will go on hikes or do stand up, and even still, that's a really harsh form of rejection at first, but just kind of find other stuff to focus on and experience life, because that's what's going to bring life to your characters. If you're just fully invested in acting 100% of the time, you're not going to be experiencing anything else, and that's not going to do anyone any good.
Right. And I think that's the most important thing. As I mean, you talked about how being in senior projects and films and things like that are great. I did one, and I've had some actors that have been for me that are very deadpan and very innocent, um,
Hmm.
which works in certain situations. But I think you're right. The experiences really do come out when someone is acting because you
Oh
put
yeah.
yourself into the art.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not, a lot of people will get booked off of, looks, or nowadays there's like your following comes into it. I've seen people get booked because they have more Instagram followers than someone, so they know that project's going to get more notice and stuff like that. So unfortunately, building a social media platform is very important, and kind of marketing yourself the right way, to ensure that when people go to your page, there's, good stuff for them to look at.
Right. And I know we've been talking through Instagram. Do you think Instagram over Facebook or Twitter is more important if you're trying to be an actor?
um Personally, yeah. I've just because, with Twitter, you can tweet pictures, videos, do the same thing. But I think just because of where we're at, technology wise and apps and everything like that, it's the most I guess popular one, if you want to pick a term. And a lot of promotions go out through Instagram now. You're seeing it on stories where it's sponsorships and stuff like that. So people are using it to get their stuff out there, even big companies. So it's going to be one of those things that, until something else happens with any of the other apps, or I think Facebook people use for family stuff now, and to like argue about politics. That's about it.
Yeah, it's great. Something you definitely want to hear right now, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So you talked a little bit about stuff that's coming up for you. Can you tell us? You said a movie's coming out tomorrow, or a trailer's coming out tomorrow.
No, the actual movie is dropping online tomorrow. It's called Negative Exposure. It's directed by Tony Tite. Um, it was shot here in Columbus, South Carolina. I had a few friends work on it. It was really kind of a cool experience. I was up there for a week, and it was a lot of intense moments, and I got to put myself in someone's shoes that I physically am not capable of in real life. So it's one of those things that even momentarily, to kind of have to sit and think about that person's circumstance and those around me and everything like that, was it was eye-opening. And I don't know, I'm really grateful for the experience. I booked the character in the room, which was interesting because that hadn't happened before. But it was one of those things, when it happened, everyone was very supportive, and I felt like it was going to be a good experience.
Well, that's awesome. Is there anything else that might be coming out or anything like that you can think of, or anything you're looking forward to?
I'm really excited for Bad Candy. I'm excited for the short that Tony and I are going to be shooting at the end of September. It's not going to be for children as much as Playtimes Over was. My goal with Playtimes Over was to create something that both parents and kids could both enjoy. You know what I mean? The kids had the aspect of them fighting a babysitter, and then the parents had the nostalgia of like the old horror films that they grew up on and everything. So it was kind of like the best of both worlds. And I didn't want to like pinpoint one crowd of people with my first short. That's what we're doing with this one. I'll do it with my second one, not my first.
Well, it sounds like you're busy and you've got a lot going on and you've done a lot too. here's the most important question I ask every time. Where can people find you and follow you and see all your stuff?
So my Instagram is just Haley HALEY underscore Leary LEARY. Um, I am on IMDb. Playtimes Over has its own website. It's memorywedge.com/playtimes over. If you want to see facts about it, what we've won, who all was involved. Besides Tony, my friend Todd screen wrote it because I was kind of new to dialogue and everything. So we all fully collaborated on that. And there was just so many people that kind of pitched in their efforts that were really awesome. So you can find them on there. And also all like random facts about the film, like there's 32 homages in like the 10.5 minutes, so it's cool. It's an Easter egg of a short film for sure. But yeah, I would say Instagram. I randomly will pop on Twitter every like couple of months, but that's just to be like, did someone really say that, and then go verify it and then come back. But yeah, Instagram's Norman where you can find me.
Well, thank you so much for being here today. We really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
thanks for having me. It's been fun. Good questions.
Yeah, no problem.